Determine the explicit formula for each arithmetic sequence. The general formula is AN equals A1 plus D times the quantity n minus 1. AN stands for the final value, A1 stands for the first term, D is the common difference or the slope, and n is the number of the term. So in this one, the first term, A1, is 3, and if you study the pattern closely, it's subtracting 6 each time. So the common difference is subtracting 6. So that makes that a negative 6. So then you just use the general formula and start plugging things in. So AN equals A1 is 3. The common difference is a negative 6. So even though the general formula says plus D, it's whatever sign that the difference is. So minus 6 times the quantity n minus 1. So now we simplify by using the distributive property. So we got to distribute the negative 6. So negative 6 times n is negative 6n. And negative 6 times negative 1 is a positive 6. So now we're going to combine like terms. Because 3 plus 6, we can put that together. So I've got a negative 6n. And then 3 plus 6 is a positive 9. And that is the explicit formula. Okay, number 2. The first term, A1, is 1. If you study the pattern, it's adding 5 each time, so the common difference is 5. Okay, so the general formula is AN equals A1, so I'll put a 1 here. The D is a positive 5 times the quantity n minus 1. Now the n's are always going to stay in your answer when you're writing the formula. So AN equals 1. Use the distributive property. 5 times n is a positive 5n. 5 times negative 1 is a negative 5. I'm going to combine like terms. So I've got 5n. I can put a 1 and a negative 5 together. I get a negative 4. So AN equals 5n minus 4. And that's the answer to that one. Okay, we're going to find the nth term now. So what is the 20th term of the arithmetic sequence 7, 4, and 1? Well, A1 equals 7. That's the first term. If you study the pattern, it's subtracting 3 each time. So the common difference is negative 3. So I'm going to get a general equation like I did last time. So AN equals A1 is 7. Common difference is 3 times the quantity n minus 1. So AN, use the distributive property. 7, negative 3 times n is negative 3n. Negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. So I've got AN equals a negative 3n plus 10. Okay, that's the formula, but now they say find the 20th term. So n equals 20. So a to the 20 equals, negative 3 times 20 plus 10. So the 20th term equals negative 60 plus 10. So the 20th term equals negative 50. The 9th and 10th terms of an arithmetic sequence are negative 24 and negative 30 respectively. What is the 30th term? We can actually, respectively means in that order, we can actually put this information into an XY table. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The 9th and 10th term and our negative 24 and negative 30 in that order. I'm going to do this to find the slope because the slope is the common difference. So from negative 24 to negative 30 is down 6. And from 9 to 10 is up 1. And the slope is the circled number on top, negative 6 over 1. But negative 6 divided by 1 is negative 6. Okay, that's the common difference. The common difference is negative 6. We have to go through this because they did not give us a 1. So now I'm just going to use one of these points. I'll just use the 9 and the negative 24. So AN, or the final value, so negative 24. Oops, sorry about that. Where am I? Negative 24 equals A1. Here's the thing, we don't know A1, that's what we're finding. The common difference is negative 6. Now, the N, we do know. We're looking at the 9th term. So I'm going to put a 9 minus 1 here. So I've got negative 24. I'm going to solve this algebraically for A1 so that I know what the first value is. So negative 6 times 9 is a negative 54. Actually, you know what? Easier than that. 9 take away 1. Let's do in the parentheses first. So 9 take away 1 is 8. So negative 6 times 8 is negative 48. It just saves us a step there. Okay, let's add 48 to both sides. So 24, A1 is 24. So now we can use the formula that we used last time. AN equals 24. The common difference is negative 6. But now we're looking for the 30th term. So N is going to be 30 this time. 30 minus 1. So AN equals 24 minus 6 times 29. So AN, technically I should say A30, but I'll just leave it like it is. 24 minus 174. So my final answer, the 30th term, is negative 150. Okay, the next one, the 15th and 21st terms of an arithmetic sequence are negative 67 and negative 97 respectively. So again, I can put this into a table. 15 and 21, negative 67, negative 97. So from negative 67 to negative 97 is going down 30. And from 15 to 21 is going up 6. So the common difference, or the slope, is circle number on top. Negative 30 divided by 6 is negative 5. The common difference is negative 5. So now what I want to do is I usually just pick the first one they give me, so 15 and negative 67, and I start plugging values into our general formula. So the value, negative 67, equals A1, we don't know, that's what we're trying to find out. The common difference is negative 5. Now the N we do know, we're looking at the 15th term right now, so that's 15 minus 1. So I get negative 67 equals A1 minus 5 times 15 take away 1 is 14. So negative 67 equals A1. Negative 5 times 14 is negative 70. I'm going to add 70 to both sides. So A1 is 3. That's a 1 there. So A1 is 3. So then I take the general formula AN equals A1, the common difference, times, we're looking for the 30th term here, so 30 minus 1. So AN equals 3, negative 5 times 29. Order of operations says we have to multiply first. So you don't do 3 take away 5 times 29. We're just going to leave the 3 alone for now. Negative 5 times 29 is negative 145. So the 30th term is negative 142. Okay, the next one, again, an XY table. We're doing the 9th and the 14th terms. And 23 and 33 respectively. Okay, from 23 to 33 is up 10. And from 9 to 14 is up 5. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. The common difference is 2. So D equals 2. So I'm just going to use the first set of points and our general formula to start plugging in the numbers to find A1. So 23 equals the first term, we don't know that, A1. And then the common difference is 2 times, we're looking at the 9th term here, so 9 minus 1. Okay, so 23 equals A1 plus 2 times 8. So 23 equals A1 plus 16. Subtract 16 from both sides. So I get 7. 7 equals A1. And actually, if you read the question, that's what they asked us for, so we don't have to do any additional work on this one. Okay, for the sequence graph below, write an explicit formula, then find the 57th term of the sequence. Okay, so here goes. Let's see. They gave us the first term. The first term is 15. I'm going to use this graph to find the slope, or the common difference. So to do that, you're counting by 2's here. So 2, 4, you go down 5, and you go to the right. The bottom is counting by 1/2, so you go to the right 1. So negative 5 divided by 1, common difference is negative 5. Okay, so they want the explicit formula first. So AN equals A1, the common difference, times the quantity n minus 1. So AN equals 15. Distributive property, negative 5 times n is negative 5n. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. Combine like terms. AN equals negative 5n plus 20. That is the explicit formula. Now they want us to find the 57th term. So we are going to put in let's put in for n a 57, negative 5 times 57 plus 20. So the 57th term is negative 5 times 57 is negative 285 plus 20. So the 57th term is negative 265.